Hello, and welcome to the Valley. Today, I am your host, Janet Michael. We are back on the Zooms today with my dear friend, Carl Knobloch. Carl, as you may remember, is the Virginia District Director of the Small Business Administration. Carl, we had to take a bit of a hiatus because the government shut down and your morals and ethics were too high to pretend that we had recorded your show before the shutdown. So we just had to go on a break. We were on a break.
Yeah, a long break.
It was
Much
a
too
long
long.
break. But I'm glad that it is back open now,
Yeah.
just in time for us to have a conversation about Small Business Saturday. When we talk about small businesses, you and I have had this conversation in the past. From the Small Business Administration, that traditionally has meant 500 or fewer employees. But when we have our conversations, we're really talking about those businesses with maybe 50 or less, or those mom and pop businesses, or somebody that has a family owned business. We're talking about farmers. We're talking about small manufacturing companies, things like that. I don't think people fully wrap their heads around what small business actually is and the economic impact that it has on our communities.
Yeah, if people would step back and think really hard that 99% of the businesses in our country are small. But all we ever talk about is the big businesses. They only do part of your formula. You have all these really small companies that those people that work at those companies go to and reap the benefits. That's the thing I always try to stress to people, that if there is a big business, one, you got a supply chain, that's a small business to it. Two, the support organizations for where they live in the community, they have that.
The government shutdown is a perfect example of that in reality, because when it shut down, all of those small businesses in DC, for example, they didn't have the people that were going to the office every day, that were stopping to get their coffee or popping in to get a sandwich for lunch. They really did feel the impact greater than some of us in the outer lying areas may have felt it.
It's really ironic because everybody always thinks the fast food stores, but there's a lot of specialty stores that people literally love going to enjoy their special treat or meals or special coffee. They literally survive because of that core group. And they're shut on the weekends because they know their core group is only there Monday through Friday. So it makes a big difference.
I love that American Express came up with this idea. They do a really good job of getting swag and doing a lot of marketing and promotions with local EDAs and chambers of commerce and that sort of stuff. But I feel like part of the problem, the flip side of that, is that as consumers, we think it's only important to shop small on that Saturday and not the second week in December or the first week in April or the third week in July. We forget that small businesses need us year round.
I always look at it this way. I tell everybody, enjoy the Black Friday specials. After that, from that Saturday until Christmas Eve, just shop small, because you're going to get all the unique gifts. And if you just step back and you think about, as you drive and look at all the different small businesses, you can literally think of gift ideas. And you can literally have this whole variety pack of giving different types of things that people say, I never even knew of that. I never even thought of that. What? That's a new restaurant at that locality? Gosh, you know how many years ago and it used to be this? There's so many ways that people can take advantage of this, but they lose sight of it. As you said, they only think it's that Saturday. And so all of a sudden you're telling the small businesses have really good deals for that day and all that. And it's no, really, it should be until December 24th.
It's one of those things where we tend to think of it being a benefit only to retail businesses and then maybe secondarily those restaurants that you talked about. But there are a ton of other businesses that offer gift cards, that offer experiences that you can buy now to give as a gift that someone can have in the spring, in the summer, in the fall.
And I think that's where a lot of small business community don't market enough to entice people. about those opportunities that are readily available. You can buy now and take advantage of it later, because a lot of these businesses have been around for years. It's not like they just opened and they're in their second year of business. They've been around for years. The local community gets used to them and loses sight of the thing. The one thing I always love in the fall is corn mazes. And I don't know why the farmers that have the corn mazes don't have a corn maze packet and then sell that at Christmas for next year. Here's the 5 in your area. You buy this and you choose which 3 of the 5 you want to go to.
I think sometimes we get stuck inside of our own little box.
I agree.
And not, well, it is kind of a pun. I was going to say not to have a pun on your corn maze, but you got to make hay while the sun shines.
That's true. I also look on that pun as I typically get a hayride out of the deal too.
I know, exactly. I had Brady Cloven on the show Monday, and Brady is the executive director for Friends of Old Town, which is the Main Street organization in downtown Winchester. And you and I have spent a lot of time downtown in Winchester,
Right.
in and out of shops. They this year are doing a holiday shopping guide. They found sponsors that have supported that project. So you can not only go on their website at friendsofoldtown.org and see the shopping guide and save it as a PDF or print it yourself, but they're doing printed copies of it this year thanks to those sponsors. One of the things that we talked about is that we also sometimes, in our tunnel vision of shopping throughout the year, think of a business having the one thing that we go there and get. And we don't think about the selection or the variety of products that a business may have when it comes to gift buying. So I may go see Christine at Winchester Book Gallery. She's someone that you and I have spent time
Yeah.
with, and think I'm going to get a book for somebody, but I'm not thinking about the calendars. I'm not thinking about the note cards. I'm not thinking about the little coffee mugs that she has. You really do need something like a shopping guide in all of our communities to see what all of the things are that are available to them.
And a key point you just pointed out is that word season. There are roughly 5 seasons that really businesses showcase themselves. And people only think this time of the year, they think about Christmas. And it's like, how about the other parts of the season that you could go in and really take advantage and get gifts way ahead of time? I know my mom always used to do that. She'd sit here and say, oh, no, I know this is what they like. I'm going to get it now. It's the best time. And I give it to them at Christmas. And so I don't know why people don't take advantage of that.
It's funny that you say that about your mom, because in December, I've got a show where over the last month or two, I've been asking regular guests a series of questions. Like, are they an artificial tree or a real tree person? And when do they put it up? And when do they take it down? I'm going to cobble all of those conversations together into a show that'll air the day before Christmas Eve. And one of the questions that I asked was, are you that person who has their Christmas shopping done by September? Or are you that person that's running around on Christmas Eve, hoping someplace is still open for you to find that gift? And the number of people that are those last minute people was pretty shocking to me, I got to say.
I think it's because it's so arduous, especially people you buy for years. What do I get them? And that's what I love about the small business community, because there's so much variety. And we were just talking about this earlier. There might have been in business for 50 years, and now they've moved on, and somebody's taken it over, or they closed and something else is open. Those are new opportunities. I think that's where all I ever hear is, up, another business gone. I'm thinking, no, that's another new opportunity. And depending on how you support it determines its success.
And I think too, we lose sight of the fact, because under that small business umbrella, we think of it as the business and we forget about the people that are actually running and operating that business, as the people who we see at the grocery store, as the people who are sponsoring the little league teams. They're the ones that are really connected in our community. And that's not to say that corporate entities don't write checks and give to some of our local nonprofits or support those kinds of things, but they give of their money and of their time, which to me is sometimes a lot more valuable.
Yeah, and I totally agree. And especially in time of need, whether it's disaster or whether it's something that's happened to somebody in the community health wise or something, it's amazing how that community, small business community that's interlinked, just steps up. And people are just like, wow, I just did not know how interconnected our relationships are. And that's why I always tell people from that Saturday until the 24th of December, so important because those are the people that are going to be there in time of need. You hear about it all the time, especially this time of the year, everybody kind of showcases it. Oh, yes, look what this person did or this business did. And I'm thinking, I hate to tell you guys, they're doing this year round and you just don't realize it.
On that note, let's take a break. And when we come back, let's switch gears a little bit and talk about it from the business side. Because you said something earlier about the farmers with the corn maze, for example, and they're not thinking about what they have to offer now. On the business side, you can't put all of your eggs in the holiday season shopping basket. You really need to be working year round on getting the name of your business out there. So, can we dive into that a little bit more in the next segment?
Yeah, sounds great.
We are on the Zooms today with Carl Knobloch. He is the Virginia District Director of the Small Business Administration. We're talking about the value of shopping small for Small Business Saturday throughout the holiday season into 2026. And we're going to come back and talk about the business end of it in just a couple of minutes.
Okay. I don't think Janet knows I'm recording this. She just stepped away to get another cup of coffee, so here's my chance. Hey everyone, it's Andy from the United Way of the Northern Shenandoah Valley. And yes, Janet, if you're hearing this, surprise, we're still celebrating the Valley Today's 2500th episode and this awesome community fundraiser you came up with. Here's the deal. Between now and the end of the year, it's Janet's goal to raise $2,500 to support the great work of the nonprofits in this community. If you give just $25 or more, you're going to be entered into a chance to be a guest on the show with Janet. If you give $250 or more, we'll make you a commercial just like this one that will air on the Valley Today podcast. So go to givebutter.com/the Valley Today right now before Janet realizes that I've hijacked her airtime. She's walking back in, cup of coffee in hand, gotta go. Remember to donate between now and the end of the year and support the great work of so many nonprofits and celebrate 2,500 episodes of the Valley Today.
Welcome back to the Valley Today. I am your host, Janet Michael. It is Small Business Saturday, the Valley Business Today, Shop Small Today. It is all of the things because I am on the Zooms with Carl Knobloch. He is the Virginia District Director of the Small Business Administration. And Carl, we talked in the first segment about why it's so important to make a huge effort to shop small. And while it is our responsibility as consumers to support our local small businesses, the businesses do bear a bit of responsibility to make a good effort to make sure I know they're there and I know what they have to offer me.
You're absolutely right. I've been amazed when I've gone to Small Business Saturday activities and I asked the business what they've done. And they said, oh, the local chamber, the local EDA put out advertisements. And I said, what have you been doing? If you're telling me people aren't coming to you, what have you been doing? You're part of the formula. That's just an extra tool. At the end of the day, it's still about you showcasing what do you have to offer that people want it and don't walk by your store.
They also have to understand just the basics, quite frankly, of marketing and the fact that you make a post on any social media network, that is nothing. Literally, that has done absolutely nothing for you because it's a very high probability that nobody has seen it. You have to be consistent. I think the average now is, particularly in radio, someone has to hear or see your business 7 to 10 times before it even starts to make a little dent in their brain. So you got to be out there all the time, taking advantage of everything that's out there, not just trying to load up during Small Business Saturday and the holiday season, hoping somebody remembers you in August. That's not how it works.
No, and that hasn't changed for years. Think about it. It doesn't matter what it is. And it's probably now has to even be more than that because we're such an instantaneous communication now. So I sent you my post. Guess what? 15 seconds later, another one's coming across. I'm done. So I don't even think 7 will even make an impact anymore because of how much information's moving.
So much of it, I think, is easier if these small businesses took just an extra minute or two with the people that are already in their store to educate them on why shopping with them is important and valuable, and to show their gratitude. I mean, you tell me thank you for buying something or show me how appreciative you are that I popped in, no matter whether I spent $10 or I spent $100. I'm going to tell everybody about how great that experience was, which is going to bring you more customers than that one random post on Facebook. So engagement with your existing customers is key.
What you're looking for is the return of people coming to experience your store and see more opportunities.
It has always been frustrating to me too when some of our communities, like the Chambers of Commerce, Brady at Friends of Old Town, or our EDAs will put together promotions and say, hey, this is what we want to do. It's going to be a retail bingo card, or it's going to be a scavenger hunt, or Page County. I got to give solid props to Gina at the Luray Chamber because they're doing a phenomenal Shop Small campaign that does start on Shop Small Saturday, but it runs through the Sunday before Christmas. And all you got to do is shop at any business in Page County, whether it's a coffee shop, a retail business, anything that's locally owned. And that receipt, whether you spend $2 or $200, gets entered in for a drawing for like $500, $250, or $100 worth of gift cards. There are so many businesses that those things get put together for, and they're like, yeah, no, I don't want to participate in that. Or I'm only going to get people that come in to buy this little 10-cent item and it's not worth my time. They really got to understand the value of being part of a bigger promotion like that.
The one thing I find during the holidays, it's a spot buy. I may be going in there to spend 10 cents, as they say, for something, and all of a sudden I see something. I know when you and I last year went and walked the stores, and I go in there, I said, oh, my wife would love that. And I just buy it. It's a spot buy. That's what it's about. I may be going in there initially just to get one thing, but I see something else, and that's the enticement. That's where lots of times when you have that mindset that you just brought up, you do lose opportunity because you've already made up your mind what you think of your customer base.
I will also point out that sometimes we go into a store and you buy something for yourself. Oh, I don't know, maybe like a scarf. And then you get home and find out that you actually bought it for your wife.
Yeah. Yes, I know that well too.
And the thing that worries me just a little bit about some of these small businesses that don't see that value is, say, if it is a retail location or maybe it's a restaurant, that their setup, their displays, things within their store that are going to cause people to go, oh, what is that over there? That's going to make them move around their store or their service. If they go have lunch somewhere and that waitress is not having a good day, that is not going to translate well to repeat business. I worry that they're falling down in other areas that are also going to hurt them, but then they're going to say nobody ever came in. That's
Yeah.
not really the problem sometimes.
No, and I think you're absolutely right. No matter what, whoever walks in your door, you always got to be on your A game. That's reality because that customer, you do a bad experience, you're going to have to work that much harder to ever get them to come back through your door. But I promise you, they will have no problem telling everybody about their bad experience. And so that means you spend that much more dollars to try to get somebody to come in your door, or eventually your business closes and you're going to blame the people not supporting you, but it's about the actions. And I think that you're absolutely right. And I've seen that in locality. I feel bad for them.
And that's a hard conversation to have with anybody. I remember years and years ago, I worked for WINC, which was the radio station that used to be in Winchester, and I sold radio ads. And I had sold this campaign to a retail shop. It was a good schedule. It was a lot of spots. It was a good price. And after it ran, I went back in and I'm like, so how did it go? Did you notice any blah, blah, blah? And they're like, well, we had a ton more traffic. We had a lot more people that came in while our ads were running, but nobody bought anything. I looked at them and said, that's not my fault, nor is that my problem. My job was to bring them in the door. I did my job. If I got them in the door and there was nothing here for them to buy, or your staff wasn't friendly enough or didn't sell them on anything, that's on you. That's not on me. And I think sometimes small businesses tend to want to point fingers at other people.
When you make that analogy, at the end of the day, you always need a good salesperson. So try in that moment of time when you're encountering people to guess what they may like. And if you hit it, I promise you got a customer loyal for the rest of your life because they will start sharing more things with you and you learn more things. it also helps you as a business because as you build that base more, you start learning what to actually put in your store.
I will say too, that salesperson doesn't have to be a salesperson. All that salesperson has to be is a friendly individual who never met a stranger. You can teach all of the other things. You got to have somebody who's never had a bad day in their life, who loves to talk to random strangers, who has tons of unrelated fun stories. You got to hire the person, not necessarily the position. And I think sometimes we all fall down on that when we're looking at hiring for a retail establishment, for a restaurant, for even some outdoor recreational places.
They got to have heart. And that's what it comes down to. They got to have that heart. And the other thing is that, especially on the main streets, I love when they make the decision to actually work together, to offer packages that complement each other. And so everybody in the community wins because sales are being made. And that's what keeps that main street alive and active. Having traveled to many different main streets, that's the one thing I pay attention to. It's how they talk about the other stores in their footprint. If they reference, hey, it's cold out today, they have the greatest hot chocolate over here. I didn't ask. They just told me because how cold it is outside. Well, I'm going to go try it.
When you do something like that and you throw in a coupon or you throw in something like we did years ago, I helped with the marketing for the Daily Grind that was on Main Street in downtown Front Royal. It's since been sold and Herb doesn't own it anymore, but we had a deal with the local theater. And if you came into the coffee shop and you bought a specific drink, a mocha, then you got a coupon for free popcorn at the movie theater. And if you went to the movie theater and you bought a large popcorn, you got a coupon for a free mocha at the coffee shop. You can do those kinds of things very easily and do them year round. You don't have to just do them between Thanksgiving and Christmas. You can do them in March and you can do them in August.
Yeah, as we've gotten more and more into the online buying and things like that, businesses are putting that energy into the online. Their storefront is suffering in the process. I always cringe when I walk into a store, and unless it's an antique store, and I see dust all over the product line. And I'm going, okay, when's the last time a sale was made here? It's about the upkeep and how you present yourself. And Janet, you know this, and people are always reaching out to you about it, is how do you make your online sing so not only do people buy product online, but it pushes them to come to your store to experience your store.
And I think we've all learned how valuable that is through the pandemic. I think people really now appreciate. So I am one of those people who will absolutely do grocery pickup at Walmart. If I don't have to walk in that store, I am not going in that store. Target, however, I'm not doing a pickup at Target. The whole point of Target for me is going inside Target. And that's how I am with a lot of businesses. However, I will buy things online to pick up in the store.
Mm-hmm.
Because I've got other things to do in the area, or it gives me that, oh, honey, I've got to run out this afternoon because I got to go pick up a book again at Winchester Book Gallery. When what I'm really going to do is pick up that book and go get a cup of coffee and then go down to this store and go to that store and go to all these other places. But I got to be able to buy it online first. And not a lot of small businesses these days have online options, and they really should.
Yeah, and we're talking about small. You can start with your most popular things online. People buy and then they go in and they start to experience the other products that you got, and then you start expanding. Doesn't mean you have to try to put your whole portfolio out there. I think that's where a lot of people make the mistake, that they're trying to put everything out there, and focus on what you sell really well and let them take advantage of that, and then you can build out from it because you'll start knowing what the customers really want.
Research your point of sale software, because if you're using Square, if you're using Clover, if you're using some of these POS systems, they have a built-in online option for a website that is already tied to your inventory. So you don't even have to worry about, yeah, but if I say I have 3 of these things and then somebody buys one in the store and now I only have 2, but somebody wants 3 of them, it takes care of all of that. And almost every single one of those POS systems offers some sort of online option for a few dollars more.
And I think that's the great part about technology today, where lots of people say, I'm not technology savvy. You don't even have to be technology savvy anymore because they pretty much want you to be successful, because that means you keep buying their product line. And if you fail because they make it too complicated, then guess what? They go under. So they're going to try to simplify it as much as they can so you'll keep doing business with them.
We are recording our conversation on the 24th. People are hearing it the day before Thanksgiving. You're coming to town the first week in December. So
Yes.
I will do two things as we wrap up. First of all, I will say you're coming to town on December 3rd. So if someone's listening today and they think they're strong enough to take the advice, they think they can manage you and I together walking through their shop or their restaurant or their small business saying, hey, here's what you should do, then they should reach out to me, because we will come and do that on the 3rd of December and we'll turn it into a radio show. But the other thing that I really would encourage everybody to do is just find a small business they've never been to and walk through the front door.
Great idea. It's a great
In
experience.
every community. Like, I'm in Middletown, but I'm going to be downtown Winchester on Saturday. This is the other beauty of not having it just be that day only, is I'm going to go on Friday and Saturday to downtown Winchester, and then I'm going to go down to Page County and do some shopping, and then I'm going to go to Strasburg. I'm going to do all of the things in all of the places because I got several weeks to do it all in.
You hit it right on the head. That's what I like about when I get to travel to different areas of the Commonwealth. I got to get this experience. At the same time, there's always those things we will buy no matter what, because if I go buy that space, I'm buying it. And that's why I always tell people, I laugh because when I go up to Lancaster, Pennsylvania, Lidditz actually, I buy Wilbur chocolates. It's why? Because it's local. But all everybody knows about up there is actually Hershey. It's only like 30 minutes difference between the two stores, literally. But I'm always going to go to Wilbur Chocolates and get the buds.
I have not been to Lancaster in many years, but we used to go on a regular basis 2 or 3 times a year for long weekends with my parents. And there was a place, I don't even know if it's still there, called the Kitchen Kettle Village.
Yes, it's still there.
Cutest little place ever. And they had a bakery in that little complex that makes the best ginger molasses cookies on the planet. So now I got to go look online and see if they sell them online and will ship them to me. Because here's the other thing, shopping small, you can do across the country.
That's right.
Well, it's great to support the businesses in your backyard. You can shop small with any small business, and it helps everybody.
Yeah, that is really a key point. With technology today, you can be small and global.
Well, thank you, my friend, for jumping on the Zoom so close to Thanksgiving. I hope you have a wonderful holiday.
Same to you. Enjoy the family.
And I will remind everyone who's listening, if you're listening to us on the radio today, it is too late to get your turkey out of the freezer. So if you haven't done it yet, I did have somebody on from the extension office a few weeks ago about how you might be able to thaw it safely. But regardless, I'm going to put the link to that show in the show notes, because she had a lot of really good advice about internal temperatures and how long should that turkey sit on the counter before it needs to go back in the fridge. So I'm going to put links to all of that. I hope everyone has a fantastic Thanksgiving. I will not be back on Thanksgiving Day, nor will I be back on Black Friday, because as you just heard, I'm going to be out shopping. So I will meet everybody back here on Monday with a brand new episode of The Valley Today, just a few minutes after noon. So meet me here then.